Right, before we dive into what might be the most ruthless family power play of the year, smash that subscribe button and hit the notifications bell because UK Informate is bringing you the royal drama that proves blood is absolutely not thicker than the throne, and you need to catch every jaw-dropping detail. So picture this absolute nightmare scenario. You are Princess Beatrice or Princess Eugenie, trying to live your life, work your job, raise your family, and stay as far away from your father's scandals as humanly possible. Then your cousin William, future King of England and current heir to the throne, allegedly calls you in for a meeting and delivers what can only be described as a thinly veiled threat wrapped in royal politeness. Get your father out of Royal Lodge, or we are going to start re-examining whether you get to keep your princess titles. That is not a family chat over tea and biscuits. That is a political ultimatum delivered by someone who knows exactly how much power he wields and is not afraid to use it. Whether this meeting actually happened or not, and Kensington Palace has denied it, the mere fact that such claims are circulating tells you everything about how toxic, desperate, and dysfunctional the battle over Royal Lodge has become. Let us talk about the source here, because it matters enormously. This information comes from Emily Maitlis on the Newsagents podcast, and if that name sounds familiar, it is because she is the journalist who absolutely eviscerated Prince Andrew in that catastrophic Newsnight interview back in 2019. You know, the one where Andrew claimed he could not sweat and spent time at Pizza Express in Woking. Maitlis has sources, she understands palace dynamics, and she knows how the Andrew situation operates behind closed doors. So when she reports that William allegedly met with Beatrice and Eugenie and told them, "You guys have got to get your dad to move out of Royal Lodge. Otherwise, we will start re-examining the state of your own titles," people pay attention. That is not tabloid gossip. That is credible reporting from someone with legitimate palace connections. Now here's where things get legally and constitutionally interesting. William does not actually have the authority to strip his cousins of their royal titles. That would require an Act of Parliament, which means debates, votes, and constitutional processes that William cannot personally control. But here's the thing about power. Sometimes the threat matters more than the actual ability to execute it. Even if William cannot personally remove their titles, he can make their lives extraordinarily uncomfortable. He can exclude them from family events. He can freeze them out of royal gatherings. He can signal very publicly that when he becomes king, they will have no place in his vision of the monarchy. That kind of institutional isolation can make royal titles feel utterly worthless even if they technically remain intact. So whether William can legally strip their titles becomes almost irrelevant when he can make those titles socially and practically meaningless through exclusion and marginalization. Maitlis also noted that there was a bit of pressure being put on the princesses to tell their father, "This is gonna happen," which suggests the message was not subtle. This was not a polite suggestion or gentle family conversation. This was William making it crystal clear that Andrew's refusal to leave Royal Lodge was creating consequences that would splash onto his daughters, and they needed to understand the stakes. Imagine being Beatrice or Eugenie in that moment, caught between loyalty to your father and self-preservation in an institution that is clearly willing to sacrifice you to solve a problem you did not create. That is not just awkward. That is an impossible position that forces you to choose between family and your own royal identity. The context here is crucial. Royal Lodge has become the most embarrassing property dispute in modern royal history. Andrew has been living there since 2003, paying essentially nothing in rent under a peppercorn lease arrangement, occupying 30 rooms on 99 acres of Windsor Great Park whilst public fury over his Epstein connections reached boiling point. King Charles reportedly wants him out. William definitely wants him out. But Andrew has been stubbornly refusing to leave, allegedly demanding 2 separate homes for himself and Sarah Ferguson if he is forced to vacate. The whole situation has been deadlocked for months, with Andrew apparently believing he can just wait everyone out because his lease technically runs until 2078. So if Charles and William cannot force Andrew out legally, what is the next tactical move? Apparently, you apply pressure through his daughters. You make it clear that Andrew's stubbornness is not just his problem, it is Beatrice and Eugenie's problem too. You use family relationships as leverage, turning daughters into unwitting negotiators in a battle they never asked to be part of. It is ruthless, it is strategic, and it shows William is willing to use every tool available to resolve this crisis, even if that means making his own cousins collateral damage in a war against their father. What makes this particularly brutal is that Beatrice and Eugenie have done absolutely nothing wrong. They are not working royals. They have stayed out of scandal. They have built careers separate from royal duties. Beatrice works in tech. Eugenie works in the art world, and both have maintained relatively low profiles despite their princess status. But now they are being told that their father's failures could cost them their own identities and positions. That is collective punishment, and whilst it might be strategically effective, it is genuinely difficult to watch. These women are being forced to choose between protecting themselves and remaining loyal to a father who has made catastrophic decisions that destroyed his own reputation and now threatens theirs. The royal expert commentary around this has been fascinating. Some argue William is simply being pragmatic, Andrew is damaging the monarchy, and if using pressure on his daughters gets him to leave Royal Lodge, then it is a necessary tactic. Others suggest this represents a worrying shift toward authoritarian family management, where junior royals are held responsible for the behavior of their disgraced relatives. Both perspectives have merit, which demonstrates just how complicated and morally ambiguous this situation has become. Whether this meeting actually happened remains disputed. Kensington Palace has denied it, saying no such conversation took place and that title decisions are not within William's authority anyway. But the denial almost does not matter at this point. The fact that credible journalists with palace sources are reporting these threats means either they happened and the palace is lying, or the situation has deteriorated so badly that people believe they could have happened, which is almost as damaging. Either way, the Royal Lodge battle has clearly reached a point where nothing is off the table, not even threatening to strip princesses of their titles to force their father's hand. For Beatrice and Eugenie, if this meeting did happen, the message is unmistakably clear. Your future in this family depends on your ability to control your father, even though he is a 65-year-old man who has shown zero inclination to accept anyone's advice. Thanks ever so much for watching, everyone. We will catch you in the next one.